Hey there, Chad here from Chibi AI, and in this video I want to show you just a glimpse of what makes Chibi special. And I hope that you'll agree. But what I want to show you first here is I'm just going to run a quick slash command here. It's just going to be brainstorm some H1 headings for landing pages about Chibi AI. And I'm just going to run this. And what you'll find is it'll come back with some cool information. It seems to be doing its job, but you'll notice that Chibi AI landing pages, this has nothing to do with Chibi AI, our application. It's more around Chibi, the Japanese art style. And that's not what we want our landing pages to be about. So let's just undo and go back. And what we'll do is we'll add in here a variable called Chibi bio. I'm typing it in manually, but what you could do is go into memory. I've got this global memories here, and I can just copy it. And then I could just come over here and paste it in there. But essentially what this Chibi bio has in it is just a description of Chibi, our application. So now I'm going to run this again, and we should get headlines that actually sound like they're talking about Chibi AI, our content creation app that you're looking at right now. So this is good stuff. We got a variety of different types of headings that we can maybe use and consider. Good stuff, but maybe we have a very specific format that we like to have our headings in. So let's go ahead and undo this again. And I'm going to copy in something a little bit different here. It's the same prompt, but with follow this format pro copy headline. And I'm going to run this. And we'll get a very different result. We get actual headings. These are H3 headings with a certain type of format here going on. Now this is pretty decent. What is it doing? Like, what does that pro headline thing do? Well, we call that a blueprint, and we get this pro copy headline here, and I'm going to open this up, and we can see that it starts with 3 hashtags. That's why it created H3 headings. And then we have this curly brace here, and it says start with a new unique solution, social proof, big benefit, specificity. It's kind of giving the blueprint for how we want our headlines to look. But if you look closely, it seems like it doesn't really truly follow that. And that might be because for the role that we're using in our document, right now we're using Google Gemini's Flash 1.58 billion, which is a very, very small model. So let's go ahead and change this model to use Claude 3.5 Sonnet instead, a more capable model. You've probably heard of it. And then let's go back and let's run this one more time. When we run it this time, of course, you can notice that it takes a little bit longer to be created, right? Because Claude 3.5 Sonnet is a larger model, more sophisticated, sometimes they say state-of-the-art model that takes longer for it to run and process than a smaller, like the Gemini Flash 1.5 model does. So we've got these results which are far and away an improvement. They follow the formula, the blueprint that we gave it. And now we've got headlines that we can look through that might be something that are more suited to what we want for our landing pages. So that's some pretty cool stuff, right? But, you know, I don't want to have to type all this stuff out all the time. So let me just go ahead and copy this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my actions here. And I've already created one action group. If you come into this when you're new into Chibi, it'll be a blank space, but you'll come up here, just click new to create a new action group. And so I've got this action group. I'm going to come into here and I'm going to create a new action, and I'm going to call this one like create headlines. Actually, you know what? Let's name it brainstorm headlines. And then we'll hit next. We'll add a stream prompt task to this action. What this will do is it just uses AI to generate some content, and it streams the results into our document, just like it was when I ran this slash command right here. So I'm just going to paste this in here. But now I don't need this follow this format part. So I can take that off because what we have here is a use blueprint, and I can pick that pro copy headline blueprint there. And now what I'll do is I'll go into the settings here, and I'm going to change this to select a role. That way, whenever this action runs, it always uses my blank role, which is the current role that I'm using at the moment anyways. But what we also want to do is come down to here, and we want to just name this. So we'll say brainstorm headlines, and we'll just call this the headlines. Okay, so these are just good practices because what it does is when you're looking in your action, an action can have multiple tasks. Right now it's only got one task in it, so it's only going to do one thing for me. But brainstorm headlines it's something I can look at and I know at a glance that this task right here is going to do that. And so if I were to in the future to add some other tasks in here, just I've got 3 here. I know that step 1 is brainstorming headlines. Maybe step 2 will analyze and adjust, and step 3 will pick the best 3 or something like that. We can do things like this inside of our actions. And for this demo purposes, I'm just going to go ahead and remove these 2, but by naming them and setting the variable, we can more cleanly work down the tasks, knowing exactly what our action is doing. But the point that I want to show you here is that I've turned this prompt now into a tool. The tool is to brainstorm H1 headings for Chibi AI, and it knows about my blueprint, or it knows about the bio of Chibi. So save this. Now let's just go ahead and remove this completely, and when I run this, we'll get a very similar result that we just did. There we go. So you remember I set it to use the blank role. So if I go over here and I show you this is the blank role, it's using Claude 3.5 Sonnet like I changed it to. Well, I called it the blank role because I literally have no instructions set up in here. And the AI controls are just set to something like this. 0.55 for the temperature, a couple thousand, almost 3,000 for the max length. Top P of 1, everything's basically some defaults and stuff. So I like to use a blank role as a starting point, and then later on I can adjust and improve these roles. So that's one thing that's pretty interesting about this, right? Now I have a tool. I can just go into my actions toolkit here and close down this. So if I can come into here, let me just go ahead and remove this content here one more time. And I can just come into here whenever I want it. And if I need to brainstorm headlines about that, I can just come in here and click this and I get more headlines. Pretty cool stuff, but you can imagine how cool it'll be when you have your own toolkit built up around your content processes and how you like to work. You can just have tools that are at your ready to generate that content for you. And keep in mind, I'm talking about generating content, but you can also use it to analyze, to educate, to learn, to do all kinds of stuff, analyze. Whatever an AI model is capable of, you can do it here in Chibi as well. Okay, there's one more thing I want to kind of go over here. I'm going to copy in some more stuff here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my roles and I'm going to create a new role. And I'm going to put a DM and we'll go next. Pick a model. I'm just going to go ahead and just use Claude 3.5 straight away. Now for instructions, I'm going to paste this in. So a Dungeons and Dragons DM. I'm going to click this fire button right here. What this will do is it'll take what I put here and expand upon it to create kind of a role out of it. So you're a Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Master. Your task is to create engaging narratives, manage game mechanics, and so on and so forth. Good stuff. Let's go ahead and make it just a little bit more creative. Add some little bit more length to this. That's maybe too much, but and we'll set the top P to 1. Okay, and we'll save this. Let's make this the active role in the document. What that means is that whenever you do any writing here in the document, that DM role is now what's being used. So if I were to do a / command here now, what I want to do is I'm going to copy in another prompt here for you. Copy this in. Come up with a new character, just the name, class, and a short 10-word bio. Cool stuff. We can run this. What do we get from our DM? Thalia, Night Whisperer, Shadow Monk, orphan circus acrobat seeks redemption after stealing from the temple master. All right. Interesting there. Okay. So we've got this other thing here now. So let me just go down. I'm just going to type in create a character sheet for Thalia. Follow this format. And you kind of know what I'm going to do here, don't you? I'm going to go to my blueprints. I've got a blueprint set up with character sheet. I'm just going to copy that, put it right here. And now I'm going to run this, and we should get something pretty interesting out of this. There we go. Thalia, basic information, physical attributes, personality profile, all kinds of really interesting stuff about this character that maybe we could use inside of our DM game or Dungeons and Dragons games going forward. So this is just the power of what you can do inside of Chibi, because With all this control over the context, the different AI models that you can use, you can build personas, we call those roles, so that we can have the AI write in certain ways. We create our actions so that we have reusable tools that can accomplish some tasks that we might find ourselves doing from frequently, so kind of automating those repetitive tasks for us. And we have blueprints, which gives you the ability to set up things to be run in a very specific format. And let me just show you real quick what this character sheet one looks like. See how we have character name has a single hashtag, which come up here. It's always up there. Thalia, that's an H1. Then we've got a basic information, that's an H2. Age, gender, occupation. We got all this stuff that's being dropped in for our character based off of how we want our character sheet to look, because that's how we designed the blueprint. And this is how in Chibi you're able to get consistent results that follow the format that you want, the output you want. Using roles, you can design them to write in the style of your how you expect it, how you want to write. Maybe we call it your voice, or you can even mimic others' voices. In this case, the DM might mimic, a more fantasy style role or something like that, and write in a historical way versus modern language. But I hope you found this interesting. If you have any questions, please don't feel free to reply. If you're watching this on YouTube, go down to the comments. Be happy to answer any questions you have. And until next time, take care.